braised short ribs with garlic mashed potatoes and asparagus. This is one of my all-time favorite dishes to make, and I get compliments every time I serve it. It takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it. Here's what you'll need. We'll start out with the vegetables. You'll need russet potatoes, garlic, yellow onion, carrots, celery, and a few sprigs of thyme. We'll also need salt and pepper, olive oil, bay leaves, beef stock, heavy cream, whole milk, tomato paste, and red wine. For the red wine, I used a Merlot, but a Cab or a Pinot will work just fine. And of course, the main attraction, beef short ribs. This recipe is all about timing. Since the short ribs take about 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes to cook, we'll want to get them going as soon as possible. But in order to do so, we need to prep our veggies. We'll want to chop up about 3 medium-sized carrots and set them to the side. Next, we'll chop up about 3 to 4 stalks of celery. Then we'll want to chop up 1 yellow onion. Since the onion that I used was quite large, I actually only used half. Lastly, the garlic. I love garlic, so I used about 5 cloves, but you can use more, you can use less, whatever you prefer. It doesn't have to be minced into extremely tiny pieces. They can be left somewhat larger. Once again, totally your preference. Now we want to season our short ribs. So generously season the beef with salt and pepper. Make sure all of the sides are coated. Heat the olive oil in a large Dutch oven. We're going to sear all of the sides of the meat until brown and crispy. This should take around 5 to 7 minutes. Make sure to flip each one so they can brown evenly. Once your short ribs have some nice color, remove each one and set them aside. In the same pot, we're going to add a smidge of butter, then proceed to add our carrots, celery, onion, and garlic. Saute the vegetables for about 5 to 6 minutes until they become soft and fragrant. Next, we'll add in our tomato paste. Mix the paste in well and let cook for an additional 2 minutes. Now we want to deglaze the pot with our red wine. I usually use around 1 to 2 cups, but it's totally up to you. Mix well and scrape up any bits of meat left over from the bottom of the pot. Let the wine simmer for a few minutes so it can burn off that alcohol, leaving behind the beautiful flavor of the Merlot. Lastly, we'll go ahead and add our beef stock and give it a good mix. Now we'll add back in our brown beef ribs, nestling them ever so lovingly into their little spots. Finally, we'll add the thyme sprigs and the bay leaves. Cover the pot and transfer it to your oven for 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes. That should give it more than enough time to really break down the tissue and make the beef ribs perfectly tender. Once the short ribs have cooked for about an hour and a half, we'll want to start on the mashed potatoes. Since we're making garlic mashed potatoes, I'm going to cut the head off my garlic, drizzle it with some olive oil, season with salt and pepper, cover it in tinfoil, and place it on the bottom rack right underneath the short ribs. We'll want to let that cook for about an hour. Go ahead and prep your asparagus by snapping off the ends. Peel and cut your potatoes into 1 to 2 inch pieces, then place in boiling salted water until soft. Going back to the garlic, after about an hour, the garlic should be nice and soft. Carefully, without burning your fingertips, squeeze the heated garlic into the potatoes, followed by salt, pepper, butter, a splash or 2 of heavy cream, and whole milk. I assure you, these will be the best mashed potatoes you have ever eaten. Then we'll want to lightly sear our asparagus. Try not to overcook them. We want them to still have a little bit of bite. Alright, so after about 2 hours and 45 minutes, our ribs should be ready to come out. Take them out of the pot and set them aside. Now we're going to make our sauce. Turn on your burner and bring the liquid back up to a simmer. Go ahead and add in a smidge of butter, and with the lid off, keep stirring until the liquids reduce and you're left with a semi-thick sauce. We're almost to the finish line. We'll go ahead and chop up some fresh parsley and get ready to plate. Start out with the mashed potatoes, followed by your short rib. Go ahead and add your sauce, then your asparagus. Lastly, sprinkle on your parsley. And that's it. Braised short ribs with garlic mashed potatoes and asparagus. It's guaranteed to impress anyone who sits at your table. Try it and let me know what you think. Enjoy.